Matt, you've been covering Olympic hockey for us out in Italy. How's it shaping up now for Team USA? I believe they're the number 2 seed entering elimination play.
Yeah, it's actually a little bit tougher than it probably should be for them. Canada has been by far the most dominant team on the men's side. They look so good. They're everything you'd expect them to be when they have Connor McDavid, Sidney Crosby, Nathan McKinnon, Cale Makar, like all these just incredible superstars who have been playing like it. So they're by far the number 1. They have the easiest draw. Some weird stuff happened with the group stage. I don't know if a lot of people kind of know how this works, but basically, there's all these different tiebreakers and stuff. What happened is Sweden lost those tiebreakers. Sweden's a really good hockey nation. They got a lot of NHL talent, a lot of NHL stars. And it looks like if both the US and Sweden advance through their first games, they will play together. They'll play each other. So that's going to be tough. If Sweden brings it, they're the type of team that could take down the US. US, on the men's side, it looked all right, for them. They should be more in control of the games. Obviously, Jeremy Swayman's goaltending performance, I don't think he's going to get another shot here. So I would say they're probably like a B, probably about a B, I'd say. Solid B so far. All
right, you mentioned Swayman. That was going to be my next question for you, Matt. Sounds like Connor Hellebuyck has been named the starter. Any chance we see Swayman moving forward here the rest of the Olympics?
Yeah, coaching staff is saying what you'd expect. We can play all 3 of our guys. We like all 3 of our guys, but it's Connor Hellebuyck's net. He's been fantastic. Hasn't been challenged a ton. It's not like he's faced Canada or, even Finland or Sweden to this point. But, Swayman, the way he looked against Denmark, he had the right attitude afterwards. He's kind of letting it, roll off his shoulders. But you give up a goal from the red line. You just don't see that too often in any hockey game at any level. And it's a tough look for him. So I think he's cemented himself as the number 3 going forward.
Fair enough. Yeah, red line goal. That's kind of tough. This is the first time in 3 Olympics, and I guess 12 years since the NHL players have been playing in the Olympics. What's been the response or the vibe of it so far?
Everybody's excited. There's a huge American contingent here. There's tons of Canadians, Swedes, Finns. All the European countries have really showed up. Even Italy, they're getting crushed here in this tournament. They lost 11-0 the other day to Finland. But, they're showing up. They're cheering. It really feels like a big event. The last 2 Olympics, I don't know if anybody watching this could name, the gold medal winner last time. It was Finland. They had 1 player returning from that team. He's playing over in the Swiss league. So it's just different. Everybody, like the top 7 rosters are guys that people have heard of and guys that people have watched on, in NHL games. The quality of play is fantastic. Some of these games are really high pace. It's basically everything that I expected it to be. I thought it was going to be fantastic hockey, and it is.
My only issue, and I agree, it's been phenomenal, Matt, but my issue is I wanted the bigger Olympic-sized rinks. Why are the rinks smaller for this Olympics?
Just kind of the way it's been built. I think that's going to be the trend going forward. It really kind of started at Vancouver 2010. They were using an NHL rink then. They were going to go build a new one because they already had the Canucks rink right there downtown. And they've kind of continued that. As a guy who plays defense mostly, when I lace up the skates, I don't mind the smaller ice because you're skating a lot more if you're on the larger ice. It's a little bit easier to control, but I think it's helped the physicality of these games. We actually saw a fight last game between Canada and France. Tom Wilson of the Capitals, he's a big tough guy. Went after a French guy for hitting one of his guys, Nathan McKinnon, in the face. So the physicality ramps up. There's less room to kind of skate and dance, and it's more of a rugged game. So it's been enjoyable.
Yeah, less room to skate, definitely more physical. All right, we got about 10 seconds. For the women's team, is it gold or bust for them at this point?
Absolutely. They're the best team here. They look great. They're playing Sweden in about 15 minutes here, and I would expect them to get through. It's all about Canada. They know that's the only team that can beat them this tournament.